Kel, are you getting as frustrated as this boy? Well, for just 5 minutes of your day, I can teach you how to solve quadratic equations. This is how to solve quadratic equations using the square root property. So if I had a problem that gave me 2x plus 4 squared equals 36. To solve that, I would just like in the base problem, I would square root both sides. So I would just take the square root of both sides of the equation, and then I get 2x plus 4 equals, and the square root of 36 is 6, but it can be 6 or negative 6, so I have to put plus or minus 6. So now what I can do is I can separate the two equations. So I would have 2x plus 4 equals 6, and 2x plus 4 equals negative 6. So let me just start with the positive answer first. So I just need to get x on one side of the equation. So I subtract 4 on both sides, and then I get 2x equals 2, and then I just divide 2, and then I get x equals 2 over 2, which is then equal to 1. But that's just one of our two answers, because now we have to solve this other side. So on this side we do the same thing. We subtract 4, and negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So, and then we divide by 2, and we get x equals negative 10 over 2, which is also equal to negative 5. So our two answers are 1 and negative 5.
Alright, so now we're going to do a square root property again, but with this one it's going to be a little more complicated because the answer is not going to be even like it was in the last problem. So say you're given a problem like 2x plus 5 squared equals 45. So first you're just going to square root the whole problem like you did in the last example. And then the square root and the squared cancel out, so then you're left with 2x plus 5 equals square root 45, plus or minus square root 45, because this is the most important part right here, and some people forget about that and it like messes up the whole problem in the long run. So this is really important right here. Alright, so now you can just start like subtracting and dividing. So next you're just going to subtract 5 to both sides, leaving 2x by itself. And then so it would be 2x equals negative 5 plus minus square root 45. Right, so then you see the 2x over here and then this over here, so you can divide this all by 2. And then on this side you're left with x, and then on the other side you're left with negative 5 plus minus square root 45 all over 2. But you're not done yet, because this can be simplified into radicals. So over here we're just going to write this is square root 45. So just divide it by a number that can be divided evenly. So let's say 9. So you have square root 9, and 9 goes into 45 5 times. So 9 can be simplified into 3 because square root of 9 is 3. And then you're left with this 5 over here. So this square root 45 becomes 3 square root of 5. So your final answer will be x equals negative 5 plus minus 3 square root 5 all over 2. That's your final answer.
Let's say you have an equation that cannot factor, such as x squared plus 8x minus 5. Now in this scenario, you would use the quadratic formula. So that is negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac, that's all over 2 times a. Now, in terms of the equation, your x squared is a, 8x is b, and negative 5 is c. So, if I were to write this, it would be negative b, so negative 8, plus or minus square root of b squared, so 8 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1 because the coefficient in front of x squared is always 1 if there's no other number. So it'd be 1 times negative 5. Make sure you write the negative. And that's all over 2 times a, which is 1. Alright, so if we simplify this, we can turn this into, that's an arrow by the way, 8 plus or minus square root 64. Now, in the parentheses, this is negative 5. So negative 5 times negative 4 would be plus 20, and that's all over 2. So simplify it even more. Negative 8 plus or minus 84, and that's all over 2. Alright, now this is where it gets interesting because 84 is not a perfect square. So, just like in the last problem, we have to find factors of 84. So, such as, let's say, square root of 4 and 21. Now you can see the 4 is a perfect square. So, when we rewrite it, we turn this into negative 8 plus or minus square root of 4, which is 2 root 21. That's all over 2. Now, as you can see here, we have these three numbers are all divisible by 2. So your final answer is going to be negative 4 plus or minus square root of 21. Because all of these, the 2's cancel out, and this becomes a negative 4.
I hope this video helped you out, just like this trouble teen over here.